retaining your wealth is almost as difficult as building it in the first place. Because you're looking at things from a different lens, through a different lens, because you're in a different place. So you tend to do things that are a bit more risky. And I mean, I love that you call it a speculative investment, because that's really what you're doing. So what did you do to change that?
I became a boring investor.
So what's boring to you?
Well, you know, that was the crux of my talk at Collective Genius. A boring investor, you know, they're looking for true wealth. My wife was lamenting this morning. She goes, you know, so what's our company worth? And how much cash do we have? Well, there's a big difference, because true wealth, I think, is having assets that generate cash flow. Warren Buffett said, if you don't learn to make money while you sleep, you'll have to work until you die. And so I think, you know, but it can be a little boring. It's not cutting edge. It's not going out with, you know, Elon Musk inventing the latest, greatest thing. It can be that, but those are the exceptions. And that's why there are books and biographies about these folks, because they built something, you know, that was incredibly speculative that worked. But for the most of us, investing should more fall into the boring category. So, you know, boring investors attain true wealth. They also enjoy real freedom. You know, gold miners in the 49 gold rush, and then in the 1880s and 90s gold rush in Alaska, you know, very, very few of them broke even. They had a lot of excitement along the road. Very few even got there to the Alaska, through the pass there in Alaska. I went and visited there about 1.5 years ago. And, you know, we've all heard this, but I'm going to make the point anyway. The boring people in those gold rushes made the most money on average. And of course, that was the people that owned the hardware stores, the logistics operation, the the hotels. When in the North Dakota oil boom, when we lost about $1 million, $1.2 million, a bunch of friends and I flushing it to the bottom of a hole that didn't produce any oil, we went on to build a multifamily facility to house those oil workers, and we made millions of dollars housing oil workers in just a handful of years. And so, but it's boring. It's a lot more boring to, you know, house oil workers than drill for oil.
That's right.
But boring investors avoid hidden costs. I mean, there's hidden costs when you're always in startup mode, like I was for years, chasing shiny objects. You're always learning, you're always trying, you're building, and it's like the airplane that, you know, the jet that's designed with, I think it's 800 horsepower, but almost all that's used to get up to the normal altitude. When you're cruising, they use very little of that horsepower to cruise from LA to New York. But if you're always in that high burn rate, you know, always going up to your elevation, you know, if you do that continually, you're going to burn out. And there's a hidden cost for your family. You said I have 4 kids. I got 3 great kids and 1 other one. No, I'm just kidding. My 16-year-old, whenever she hears that, she loves to jump in front of the camera and say, "It's me, I'm the other one." Anyway.
That's too funny.
But boring investors investing boring assets. I mean, how can you be more boring than self-storage? Think about it. It's 4 pieces of sheet metal, a floor, and a door. Oh, and there's some rivets. But think about it. It's boring. Where's the value adds in self-storage? Well, there are some, but they're kind of boring. And it's really, but that's the kind of thing that basically makes money.